doing this podcast. This is Echoes of Reality podcast, and my name is Blaise Joseph, and I'm the servant of God, laden with the responsibility to show for the light of Christ in teaching, preaching, prophecy, and through the instrumentality of music. With me is Mr.
Bay Otner is my name, aka Splendid.
Wow, amazing. And also,
this is Isaac Abad-Monyoza, your man. I've come your way from this hour. Alright, as you all know, I'm a pesetter, an educationist by profession, a counselor by divine inspiration, and I talk into life issues of life that discuss realities. I like offering solutions to the world, and that's why I'm here today.
the solution man, our very own working etymology.
He's a man of etymology.
He loves etymology a lot. He likes to know the roots, the depths.
Sure.
He likes to go deep. He doesn't stay on the surface. And that's what Echoes of Reality is all about.
Yes.
So Echoes of Reality podcast is a podcast that we thought about a way we could contribute our own quota to society,
That's
our
right.
quota of the development of society, particularly the mentality, the mindset of people, and a way we could influence them with some things we know, both general knowledge and both knowledge that are not general, those things that are not common. You know, there's a statement that says common sense is common, but not everybody has it, right? So those issues around the realities of life, and basically educative, informative, and transformative content that will be coming your way. So one thing I would like you to do for us is to like, share, and drop your comments, drop your own 2 cents of every topic we're talking about.
Very important.
And that would help a long way, making this channel grow, and in also helping us to aid our influence and also increase the reach
That's
of
right.
this content to as many people that it needs to get to.
That's right.
So God bless you. Echoes of Realities. We are delving into a very striking topic that came up in one of the days of our discussions, and not just that, we had to look really deep, because we don't just, on this podcast, we don't want to give you surface things. No, we want to give you things that really, when you hear, we don't want to waste your time. Data is expensive. Data is expensive. You cannot be wasting your expensive data and watching something that will not add value to you. So today's topic is tagged, why systems, structures, and individuals fail. Very good. Why systems, structures, and individuals fail. So I believe everybody at some point has experienced failure at some level. And if we want to count our various experiences of failure, it's been a lot. Okay, but I will be starting with Mr. V here. Can you just tell us like a little experience of failure you've had in your lifetime? In fact, first of all, have you ever failed in your lifetime? Let's know. Maybe you're a Superman, you know, not all of us. Have you ever failed in your lifetime?
Seriously, I love this topic. I love what you have just brought up. Yes, I've failed in life.
Wow, you have failed in life completely. My God.
I cannot fail completely.
Okay, alright, you failed at some point.
I failed at some point.
Alright.
And what causes failure? I will first of all hit a particular point. There must be a malfunction somewhere. For a system to fail, it has developed something that causes it to fail.
Okay, but you
So
personally, wait, we are going to get to the part of the
Yes.
system, but tell us a story. For example, where did you fail?
How
What did
did-
you
how
fail
did- how
in?
did
Was it
they
mathematics you failed? How have you failed? Don't tell us, leave system alone, bro.
I've
We are
failed in
talking
so
about
many
you.
ways, but
Give us
precisely
one
speaking,
example.
in my school, in my secondary school, I used to say this story that I had three friends, and in total we were 4.
Okay.
And then there was one guy that was so corny. We call him Great Man Eyebiabo. And this great man, you know, all of us came from different schools, and we met in this school, Anglican Secondary School. Boom. So this guy, what he will do is when exam period arrives, he will see him, he will go home and study, make sure that he has gone back to back, understood so many things.
Wow.
So I'm talking about the corny aspect of human life.
Okay, sir, you are digressing.
No.
Let me ask this man. Sir, sorry, can you tell us an example? Have you ever failed in your life? I don't know. Is there any point of your life that you have failed before?
So, you know, there are some people that don't like admitting failure. But a man like me, I've met failures. I've failed in life in so many ways. But because of the kind of person that I am, I learn from my failures, from my mistakes. So I have lots of instances. Just as you were saying, his experience is just like a similar direct experience that I have. Because same thing happened to me while in secondary school days. You know, I'm somebody that I don't like to be challenged, but I still love challenges because I build on them or consider them as stepping stones. There was this young man, he's out there now, his name is Siri.
Oh, wow.
Siri joined us in SS1, in SS1, in our very class. So our classes then they had arms, A, B, and C, right? So I was was it A? I was in one of the arms, because secondary school is many years ago, I can't recall, because a lot has happened. So he came and then because he was in a particular arm, not really in my arm. So that very term that he entered, I think it was in SS, in second term, this guy, he was able to come first in the class, in SS1. So somebody that just came newly. So
just came and chancing, boss went on the duty.
But thank God me, I was in my arm, and had they been, it was in my arm, they wouldn't have tried that nonsense. Because I know the kind of person that I am, and I don't, because right from primary school, I don't take such. Now,
you don't take people.
I don't.
Coming first where you are.
No, where I am.
You must go first.
Primary school is not pride.
It's pride. It's pride.
I know this kind of pride.
You are proud. We
So
know them.
what happened is, this young man did in the next exam, that was in SS2 or 3 thereabout. So he was now shifted to my own arm. And this time around, I got myself involved in debate, drama, and some other stuff that we needed doing. So just like I said, my attention was a bit divided. So a lot happened. Why I was so focused on this certain
So in other words,
this young man would go and read overnight. And when he comes to school, he was also appointed as a prefect. I was the head boy by privilege. So he would just come to school, and then while we are supposed to be reading for exams, he would just tell us to go like this, go round classes. Not me at that time, I did not even know that this young man has already read. It was a strategy. That's what Mr. Altman was saying. He will distract us from the whole lot and we just focus on a particular class. By the time we come into exam, this young man will just be writing. So something happened that pained me so seriously, and this is the failure. I couldn't concentrate more on what I needed to do and the things were like my usual routine for me to maintain my first position in class. Do you know that very time was the first time in the history of my school that results were announced publicly? First position was called, second position was called, third position was called. This was
you were nowhere to be found.
I was actually found. But do you know, sir, what I'm trying to say is this. This young man, prior to SS1, 2, 3, SS1, even first time, it was not announced publicly. If you are first, 2, 3, it is just you and your friends and your classmates and which you check. That time, it was announced publicly on the assembly ground. When they called first position, everybody was expecting Isaac Avalon to come up because this is the brain boss actually. Privilege. I don't brag about it.
He's bragging.
He's bragging.
He's proud.
This very thing, it was announced, and the first position went to Siri. And guess what? The average was I had the average of 85.5, and this young man had an average of 85.6. So it was with a 0.1 that he took over me as the first position. I still do not believe that result today because that my form has like anyway you are worshiping. It's like you manipulated my result. So I failed in that exam, and because of that I had to consider it as a pain. And I refuse that such will never happen.
You said two striking things. Okay. Now, both of you explained the situation of your failure. But personally, a personal experience of my own failure was when I failed common entrance. Okay, no, it wasn't common entrance, sorry. It was my junior WAEC.
No.
I failed junior WAEC. Particularly, I failed maths in junior WAEC. Right from my secondary school days, junior secondary, I wasn't very good with mathematics. So I failed mathematics. And this particular time, my dad wanted me to go to a boarding school. And if for you to go to a boarding school, you must have at least a credit in your junior WAEC in mathematics. So because of my failure, we had to do what we call receipt. And that receipt was almost like you are repeating the exam.
Yes.
That fear alone, that my mom was telling me, if you repeat this GS3, your juniors will come and meet you. From GS2, you will repeat GS3. No, as you fail this, you are going to repeat class. Do you know, then it dawned on me that, and I was then in school, I went to Army Day, so I was active in Boy Scout. Wow. And then as a GS3, you are feeling like a commander somewhere. You are feeling like you're a commander, and as a commander, you have people that were subordinates. The fact that my subordinates are going to be on the same level with me, it was a very terrible experience.
What a shame.
Do you know the same energy that now I used to read for my receipt exams of mathematics? If I had used that energy, I would have not have failed. Like I scored over 70 just because of the fear that came with failure. Wow. So failure is a very terrible experience. Very terrible. It is never friendly to fail. Another time again, I was running. We were coming back from church with some church sisters. Experience of failure, my brother. We passed one compound. Dogs came out and were chasing us. Only me, my slippers to move, and I fell down.
What a feeling.
It was a shame. And my crush was there.
Yeah,
that kind of vibe. So you know that. Bitterness, and your friends will not be laughing at you.
Fine boy.
So now there was something interesting you said though. Now that's just experience of failure. Like, and everybody wants to defend themselves when they fail. Everybody wants to explain themselves when they fail. Nobody wants to be told like you fail. Just like this man said something. You said something very interesting. You said you were given an experience, but you said even till now you don't believe that your secondary school result. And that brings us to a very interesting junction. Many times when people fail, I notice that there is this defense mechanism that comes. What do you think happens? Like, why do you think people act that way towards failure? Why is it that when we fail, we're always there's this, we want to explain? What do you think that comes from? I don't know any of you that can answer the question. Why do you think that happens? Why are we always defensive when we fail? And when we succeed, we are explaining, just like you have been explaining that you used to be intelligent, you know what you used to do, but this time that you failed, you all of a sudden have a story, and you feel the man. So the man has been giving you the same average before. He was a nice person when you are taking first. Now that is average, you do not take first. You say till today you are not okay with that result.
Okay.
Can you tell us where that comes from?
Yes. I can perceive that. You know, for somebody to be so defensive, to tell you, every day I meet some teachers, they will always tell you that I used to score A, B, C. That is first, third, or
teachers, even parents, they don't used to fail.
They don't used to fail.
I think your parents, my father was one carrying first.
They are always.
No, my dad was intelligent.
No, my dad too was intelligent. I did not doubt the man. I believe the man. Until today is intelligent.
I realize that sometimes men don't actually love to fail. Personally, I believe that men don't like to fail. So there's that kind of pride in man that always make them to feel that they should be at the top. So when something causes them to fail, they try to protect that failure. Even when they are failing, they will still try to protect that image.
failure.
So the failure could also come, failure can come in terms of fear, it can come in terms of distractions and several other things.
Distraction.
You can be distracted by the things around you or even inside your heart. And maybe for instance you are studying you're reading your book and then one video is playing inside your heart on the other side and you will switch. And if definitely you cannot control such a thing, you have to switch and divert. Now two things are playing inside your mind. One thing is another movie, one thing is what you are reading, and these two things they cannot stand together at the same
You know,
time.
you're already delving into somewhere I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Already. Now we're just talking about various experiences of failure. And please, those on the comment section, you're not left out. Can you just share like a part of your? Okay,
It's
yeah.
something about that self-defense mechanism. You know, human beings, just as I said, human beings generally, we have this self-defense mechanism within us. It's a psychological factor. In psychology, those who study psychology, they'll tell you that, as is mentioned, ego. There's something called ego. So this human beings generally have these atoms of egocentrism. You know, it's a self-defense mechanism, and it's in almost all animals that God created. Because it's like their security. It's a security defense to everyone.
Yeah.
So when I knock this man, first of all, we will try to read why, the meaning, my intention towards, because I can tap in like this, even like this,
Or even like this.
or even like this.
Or even like
But
this.
what he's trying to get, his response will determine, first of all, he will process my tapping to get the intent.
Yes.
Now, if he has perceived that my intent was bad, was from a bad motive, or an evil motive, he will react. So his response towards me and his kind of tools or weapons he will use in defending himself or attacking me will depend on how he has perceived it. So people generally, they use because of ego. Now ego can be for protection. Because definitely, you know, what is it called? Failure is never sweet.
No.
And can never be sweet to anybody. The only thing is, as human beings, we learn because we need to pick certain things that are positive when you have failed. When you fail, people who have intellect, they know that, oh, just as it earlier said, something has malfunctioned. So if you can go back to the drawing board to study why that particular thing has malfunctioned, your defense and your attack will be moderated. It will be, you know, controlled. But when the person is not yet convinced of why that particular failure came, you see that the defense mechanism and his weapons of defense will be so anyhow.
Okay.
In general, I can say that why system fails is there must be a lack of something. A lack.
Okay, we are digressing further. Okay, now I wanted to bring the audience as part. I was interrupted. So we were talking about failure from the beginning, and we are still at experiences of failure that we've all had, different experiences of failure. So I don't know, you can drop in the comment section maybe one particular embarrassing moment, your most embarrassing moment of your life. Just share with us on the comment section. We'd like to hear some parts where you've personally had a failure you want to share about. Okay, now you both have already started talking about very interesting things. And why do you think failure occurs? Why do you think individuals fail? Why do you think people fail? Why do you think that since this failure happened from you've had your own personal experiences and you've seen people fail? I mean, we have seen well-meaning people, well-meaning individuals, people that have potentials that look like they were going to succeed, they were going to make it big. I can remember there was this guy while we were coming up. You know, every school has a particular brain box. I myself don't used to be part of the dollars in school. But you know, there's this kind of experience that while in secondary school, the person that is doing very well, or while in your tertiary institution, the person that is doing very well that you feel after school, this one has a bright future. In fact, that one was the example. You know, Nigerian parents can be very funny. I'm sorry to say this. Nigerian parents can be very funny.
Yes.
I could remember while coming up, there's this particular family. These people, you know, sometimes your parents don't know people like you know them. Now you know your guys. Now you know what people they do. You know them deeply. So my father always be sorry to say this. I know my dad will watch this, my mom will watch this, but they always compare you to people. Nigerian parents will be comparing you to people. And as if you two, you can't compare them to some persons. Not to mean disrespect, but they will be comparing you. That's how they are coming up. I know they are doing it to challenge you. My dad will tell me something like, "You that why can't you come first in the class? This one, that one. This boy is more intelligent than you." But to tell you how life separates things later on down the line, this person, I don't want to mention it, was now at a lower level and we now ascended. But initially, this person truly had potential, what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say in essence is this person had the potential, but somehow, the outcome of the person's life today, in fact, let me just say it straight up, this person now, as I'm talking to you, is into drugs, he's in and out of police station.
There you go.
And I can tell you for free that this person was somebody you call literally a shining light. I had that experience with a guy, I had that experience with a lady. In fact, this lady, as I'm talking to you now, she's into hookup.
And they were intelligent students.
They were the students coming first, second. So what do you think makes this to happen? Like, I don't know. I just want answers. What
I
do
can
you think?
pick from there.
Okay.
You made mention. You have given illustration of how the people around you cause you to feel. Yes. And I can pick something very vital. For this kind of people that are so intelligent and to this very point they have found somewhere else. There is something I bring up that there's a lack of complete knowledge. That is number one.
Okay.
I can say that when there is, for instance, you have a machine bike, and then you put your fuel, you put engine oil, and this thing is working properly. The day that fuel is no longer there, it will now begin to cause malfunctioning in the engine. So a malfunctioning, that is, you do not have accurate knowledge of how to operate that machine. If at all you have the accurate knowledge, you would have applied it and used it wisely. So the malfunctioning started somewhere because of there's a lack of adequate knowledge. And
so though they were intelligent, they had inadequate knowledge.
Yes, you know, knowledge is in levels.
All right.
And you see, the area that you are more knowledgeable may be that that area are not in that level with you. And as you can see, this hand has 5 fingers. All of them, they are not the same. Every other, in the same class that you were, there are people that you were higher than them.
Yes.
And there are also people that were higher than you. If at all they are to compare everyone, but you know that everything can be bring into order. If at all the knowledge that we have is now in one unity, that is, you can quantify it together.
Okay.
For instance, you were in A class and Mr. B was in B class. And if you people in A class were doing more better, you see that when they bring it into competition, that is where I'm going. Because you made mention of comparison. When you begin to compare two parties, the other one will rise up. The one that was weak will have to rise up. So, but
that's why the person should take it positively.
Yes,
in the case where it begins to affect your mindset,
yes,
and begins to make you feel you are not enough.
Yes.
It could actually lead to setback.
Good.
Yeah.
What your father was trying to do was not to make you weak, but to make you strong.
Yeah.
And any battle that is strong, you have to, you know, always we are ever weak. So we have to stand from that weakness to become stronger.
So you feel positive comparison is a good
Positive comparison is a good one. But comparison to a point where someone's level of understanding has not reached your own, and you are comparing that person with another, it will cause fluctuation, and it will also cause malfunctioning.
Okay, can you give us a little input on that? A little. You know, I was talking about personal failure.
Yeah.
And he said one of the reasons why people fail personally is inadequate knowledge, which I agree to actually.
Yeah.
You know, there are people that are book smart, but they are not life smart.
Yeah.
They are intelligent, but they are not wise. They don't know. Even back then in the days, we can tell that boy was very disrespectful. sorry to say, his intelligence make him very disrespectful. He used to carry himself like one kind of way, like say nobody reach out, that kind of thing. You understand? So, and I felt maybe I don't know, but just give us a little input on it.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Sir B. Minister, please.
Yeah, that's
all right. You know, there's something striking you said, and this thing is something that needs to be looked into.
Yeah.
On a broad horizon, not just to limit it on a particular school. Something very powerful you said. See, recently I read a particular post on Facebook. I think it was even like 2 days ago. A guy said, "Dear first class student, reading your books to pass exams in school or in classroom, dear first class students, that is very different from reading and studying life for you to be able to succeed in."
I mean,
Many I read
that's profound.
that powerful caption of that young man's message. I said, wow, so people can think. In a way, I did not graduate with first. I'm not a first class student. Actually.
You do with your time in school.
Yeah.
First class for who? People that have it first class, you don't have one.
If you ask your mom now, your mom will.
I don't think my father had first class.
So, now there's something very powerful I want people to understand. He teaches you about success systems and principles. You will know that sometimes you don't even need to acknowledge God for you to be able to succeed or to have money. Because God has programmed everything and has kept. That if you, man of God, there was a recent live show of yours that you talked about a farmer that goes to the farm, cultivates his seeds. He weeds all the grasses, take them out, clear everything, put fertilizer, and bring forth the harvest. That person can take those products and go to the market and sell because the person has put through the process of what? That success. So if anybody in life can walk through the principles or the process that bets success, we definitely have success. So some people felt because of their intelligence in class, understanding chemistry, geography, and also they view geography and
Man of God,
our system in Nigeria.
Geography to do.
In
It's
our
not
system in
to do map,
Nigeria.
my brother.
What is the application of all these things they've been teaching us? Sometimes I force myself to bring atomic theory, chemical combination to discuss spirituality because of the inspiration God gives me. Else, I do not have any practical application of those things I learned in school. So it is not your intelligence that bets success. It is not your constant reading daily that bets success. It's about you obeying the principles, the precept, the discipline, the diligence of the process that bets success that brings forth that success.
That's why a person can be intelligent and fail. Okay, now talking about still our own personal failure. Now that you've established something very striking. You said there are principles, processes that bet success that people ought to align themselves to. What do you think? I want Mr. Ben now to answer it. What do you think is the reason why people will know? I believe everybody wants to succeed.
Sure.
But why do you think that some people know that there are principles to success and they don't want to follow them? And they want to arrive at success? What do you think causes that?
I can say that what causes people not to achieve success sometimes is low esteem, low self-esteem,
and inferiority complex.
Oh yes, sure. And also you discover that there's a kind of fear that causes people's heart that when I begin to vent into a particular thing, I will not arrive there safely. So fear is part of it.
Fear is part of it that makes people not to obey principle.
So yes.
Okay.
It's true.
How does fear make people not to obey principle? I'm intrigued. Because
Wow.
I know normally I felt you would have said something like laziness, but I'm surprised. Fear. So if fear makes somebody, is it that he's afraid that if I do this thing? So can somebody be afraid of succeeding?
Sure, for sure.
Somebody can be afraid of succeeding.
Yes.
Can you please explain?
Okay.
I love this. This is interesting.
Wow.
So people want to succeed,
But they have.
but they are afraid of
They are
succeeding.
afraid. Okay, let me bring a close picture of this.
Okay.
I have something ahead of me there that I want to pick, but there's somebody standing in between me and that point. So my race is to achieve that aim and target and bring that thing closer to me, and it will help me to grow in my own success.
Okay.
But it's something that is standing before me. It could be a giant, and that giant could be anything, human being as well, or low level of knowledge can also be it. So it will now cause me to be like, how can I be able to maneuver and then reach up that side? This person is now my fear. So the person, what is standing before your mind, that is, it could also be that since I do not have the adequate, I do not go to school, I do not achieve this certificate, this and that, it will now cause me to have that fear for me to arrive at my particular point.
Now you cannot even obey the principle. You know, just when you said the person does not have the adequate knowledge, I remember one quote of Bishop Oyedepo. He said, "There is no mountain anywhere." He said, "Every man's ignorance
Is the mountain. Oh yeah,
Every man's ignorance." But you know, what you said now was very striking because I'm still intrigued by that point of somebody being afraid of success. Can you please elaborate more like that? How can somebody, because I mean, all of us agree say we won't make am.
Sure.
Everybody we agree that we want to be successful. Is that not why we are doing it? We agree that but why should not I understand somebody afraid of failure, but I don't understand somebody afraid of success.
Okay. Before he says something, let me chip in a little bit.
Okay.
You know, I want to vent into a petroleum company.
Currently, you want to?
No, I'm giving an instance. And then the money I have, I'm not so sure because there's no accurate knowledge of it. That the money I have now, if I should fix into this business, it may not come back safely. That is fear.
But that's already fear.
It's
This
fear.
one, that's fear of failure.
Fear.
You're talking about fear of failure.
Yes. Now
We're talking about fear of
the
succeeding.
unknown.
No, not the unknown now. And the unknown, everybody is afraid of the unknown. That's why we don't walk inside darkness. But I'm talking about how can somebody be afraid of being on the spotlight?
Okay, let me.
Yes, sir. Can you tell us?
All right. You know what Mr. Dave was actually saying is in the context,
Okay.
right? I don't think he directly means someone can be afraid of success particularly. Because who is he that would be afraid of succeeding? Do you understand? It was in a context. So when he gave an illustration, the instance of maybe a table, which is a mountain, just as the table can be your mountain, can be your limitation. So what is it is not directly that somebody is afraid of, succeeding. Everybody has this optimistic feeling about success and wants to get there. What he is trying to say in a context that by perception is, he's talking about the uncertainties of life. Success can be so abstract that it has not crystallized, that has not become a tangible thing that you can touch like a material. So it is full of uncertainty. There's a definition of an entrepreneur. This is where entrepreneurs operate more. Any entrepreneur, first of all, considers opportunities. Now I come to this location and I know already I have an intention that I want to create a value. And this value can bring in a reward, even monetary. that can change my state of living and even cause me to become a millionaire. Now, an entrepreneur steps into any location at all and begins to identify problems. Now he's not calling them problems. To him, he's identifying opportunities.
Yeah.
Because a problem solved or a problem identified, you having a solution, that problem becomes an opportunity for you.
Yeah.
Because you can bring forth your value and it will be rewarded. Now what entrepreneurs does, even in the midst of uncertainties, is they identify those opportunities. Now if there was no kiosk in that environment, well, maybe there are kiosks, but then there is no akara seller, or there's no kunaya seller, there's no, mineral or cold water. And maybe this is an environment where there is hotness. So that person now will first of all identify that. And first you have just come to that, you have not really done your whole analysis on that. So there will be some fear in you. This business I'm about to venture into, will I truly succeed in it?
Okay.
That is where the fear begins to come in. So the fear is not really about the success. You feel, having been afraid of success, but afraid of the process. Now this takes me to answering the question you asked previously. That why do people, find it difficult in obeying the principle or applying the principles that bet success? Because definitely, as we have established, every success has a pathway, and this pathway can be summarized or classified into a process. Now, why people know that there are principles, what and what to do to bring you that success, but they fail to do it is what I want to answer now.
Wow.
Now, why they do it that way is because the pathway, the principles, the laws that bet success, they are not cheap. These are inputs that are so tedious.
Yeah.
They said that this statement said that a palace is not built in one day. It takes several days. But an ordinary building, one day, touch, even fine grass or this katako, you are done. But it takes time for you to to build a palace, because everything should be strategic.
Okay.
Talk about beam, talk about blocks, talk about light. So you already have a vision of how the picture in mind of how you want that thing to be. So you will have to apply every vivid input needed for you to have that desired picture that you imagined called success. So if you fail, sometimes why people fail now to apply this principle, because they look at the principle, they look at the weights, and they are so tedious. Even when it happens to me, sir, if I have maybe applied, I like telling myself the truth, the right principles that I know for success, like me now, a man of God. Maybe my obedience is complete. I will not be sitting here with you, sir. I know the Friday.
Hey, this is an insult.
So sorry.
You mean I think that okay, me would have been higher, it's not really low, like it's an insult. I take that as an insult.
I'll be going places.
Okay, you will not be there. So now this is not places. What? Who is this guy?
This is still a stepping stone. This is still a stepping stone. But what I think was
okay.
The inputs, the requirement for success that be more tedious. And it's not everyone that has a stamina.
Okay.
The momentum to stand to apply.
I agree with that 100%. But now, let me give this instance about. In fact, that was a very amazing thing, because I really love that answer. Because of how tedious success is, many people quit. Many people leave it halfway, many people leave it undone. Talking about quitting, I'm supposed to be finishing the Bible this month. But you know that reading plan people used to set? I set it for 180 days. 180 days elapsed in March. Ask me how many of them did I read.
Which chapter are you?
I have to restart again because I lost my way. I've gone back to Genesis. So for this one I'll be serious. This one is for the next 90 days. No, issues of life sometimes can come and choke you. So sometimes you want to go in direction, but because of the distraction that comes, you are swept off course. But now back to in talking about sweeping off course, I was still going to talk about fear of success. Now let me say it in this light. Have you had people, especially in the context of where we come from, Nigeria? There was this man I used to work in a POS shop somewhere in Unyanya.
Okay.
And this man close to my POS shop, he is into aluminium works, glass cuttings and all that. And he is very successful. This man does transaction with me. So I have an idea of his financial capacity. This man deposits nothing less than 150,000 daily as a POS vendor. But this man every day he wears one shirt.
Wow.
And one trouser.
Oh, yeah.
And he's deliberately, let me say deliberately, he's driving one rickety Carina 2. Imagine driving a Carina 2 in like 2019, 2020. And when I began to make my findings and investigations, the man said that, you know, sometimes you have to be wise in life. Because from where he's from, in quotes, and the man told me something that they don't travel home. They don't travel home. He said if you begin to show that you are successful where he's from, they will kill him.
Yeah.
So in other words, he had to downplay the level of his success just so his life can be preserved. I've also had another case where in the classroom back then, this particular lady, let me refer back to her, okay, in the fellowship, then in school, this particular lady, they selected her.
It was not your girlfriend?
No, it was not my girlfriend. It was not my girlfriend. It was a friend.
Okay.
It was a friend as a girl.
Okay,
Yeah, my girlfriend, not a romantic partner. Okay, she said, although she's a close friend, they selected her to be the leader. Like, because normally then in the nominations, they take leadership by nominations.
That's right.
And you know, as a leader or a president of a fellowship, it's a symbol of success to some point because you have to stand in the limelight. And this lady said, when they elected her to president, she rejected the position. And when I asked her why, she said, because she doesn't want the responsibility that comes with that office. She said first, she's shy of speaking in public. That's why she doesn't even, and I have people like that don't answer questions in class, not because they don't know what to say, but because they don't want to. They don't want to be seen in a particular light.
Yeah.
They want to hide.
No, it's sure there are people like that.
Yeah, so she was afraid of speaking to people, and she was also afraid that people would be expecting more from her, knowing that she's a quote-unquote presido. As a presido, they expect your holidays to be higher, your discipline to be higher, everything to be higher. So she don't want what comes with that success. So in other words, she downplay her potentials. And I've seen people do this a lot of times. They downplay their potentials. They don't, because they are afraid of responsibility that comes. And do you know, I've heard one man of God say he doesn't want to be a popular man of God. I said, why? He said, well, you know, these days, it was like the more visible you are, the more you are open to criticism. And I understand, because man of God, look at the slander in the church. Just there do one thing. Everybody is throwing stones at the pastors. They are throwing stones at churches. Everybody is saying churches are failed. In fact, do you know, sorry to digress more again, there was a time I was set to pray for somebody. The person had a case and an issue, and I was connected to the person by another person that knew me. And the person said, when I said, she was like, yeah, okay, somebody introduced me, and I was okay, yes, I'm Pastor Joseph. The woman I said, I thank God though. If you had introduced yourself as Prophet Joseph, that I would have heard that call from that moment. So in other words, this and that is the area of my calling. But to even attach that name to you is now a stigma. So these are, I'm just giving instances of where standing in the lamplight can also be a source of fear.
Perception.
Yeah, standing in the lamplight can also be a source of, and I can tell you for free that many believers are suffering from this effect of a failure to stand in lamplight. How about families? Just become the person that is the millionaire of family, and you see the responsibility that comes with it. So many people are also afraid of taking responsibility because they know that standing in the lamplight involves responsibility.
And you said something,
you
know, and this also strikes me to a point that I can say people do not have courage. Courage, seriously.
That is a lot. That is a lot. If people do not have courage.
If I can recall, in the book of Joshua chapter 1 verse 8.
Man of God.
Fire. Speak to us.
Be courageous. I said, for this law, for you to continue to be successful, you must keep on meditating. Be strong. He was encouraging me. That be strong and be courageous. Courage can also bring you to a point of a level of success.
Yeah.
But when you are not courageous, it will weigh everything down, and even the people around.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that. So lack of courage.
There's something I want to say about
Yeah, I'm listening to that.
You know, me, I like digging the ground,
Yeah.
get to the roots.
Yeah.
I like seeing the cause, the root cause of every problem. Just as you talked about distractions at that time,
Yeah.
even courage now.
Yeah.
And the reason why some people don't want to come to limelight because of the gravity of the requirements
Yeah,
that comes with particular office or positions. Now, I've come to realize that this is where most of us, as individuals, as groups, as associations, organizations, systems, structures, even at a global stage, this is where we feel. Now, this thing I'm about to say is very powerful. I know it is powerful. It is not for braggadocious kind of conversations, we can say. Now, do you know that that lady you just talked about?
Yeah.
For her, she felt rejecting that position was to do good only to her. And she forgot that her serving in that position was not just about her, but about her and the entire community.
Wow.
Even her family, or in fact, even her entire generation. Now, at some point, we limit certain things, or try not to go into certain things, or to do certain things, or consider, let me say, limit success only to us. Not knowing that your success is not only advantageous to you, but to those under you, or whom God has also tied their destinies to you. Now, Jesus Christ, have they been in the don't come and consider the gravity of the torture, the level of pain we go through the process, and he said, for this reason I will not be successful, I will not come down to the earth. So imagine what would have happened to mankind. Now, I'm not being religious. I'm not trying to monopolize any religion to say I'm a Christian. No. Now, I'm talking from the position of love and empathy. That you are an individual, you perceive with a good intent that if I fail to succeed in life, this is not just going to be detrimental to me, my family, the community, but it will affect even the society, your local government, it will affect your state, it will affect Nigeria, affect the country Africa, and all the continents of the world.
Something to cut you. You know, in a generation that prioritize self-preservation. I mean, I've heard, you need to hear girls talk today. They'll say, girl, it's about yours. In fact, I don't want to enter before they will attack me. I'm not, hey, ladies, please talk to me, ladies, please. Yeah, I'm your partner. I stand with you guys every 10 minutes out there. Okay, no, I beg you, please, I beg. Don't say, okay, what I'm trying to say is this. No, you should not follow me, please.
I get you.
It's okay. Thank you. Normally, God bless us. Okay, right. To say this, in a generation that prioritizes self-preservation, nobody is bold enough to be self-sacrificing. What do you now? How do we now place it? Because you just said something very striking. You said self-preservation. In other words, which means self-preservation is also one of the reasons why people fail. Because they are thinking about success from a selfish perspective about themselves. So how do we what is that thing that a person can anchor on to be more considerate of others in their success equation and not just about self-preservation? Can you throw more light on that? What gives an edge to that point?
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry, sir. My mind was very itchy to say but this conversation has now come to the very focal point where my impact will come in. And the word I'll be using is still no other word but the word impact. Do you know that as we mentioned selfishness, it is one of the root causes that have itemized to be one of the number one why systems, individuals, and structures fail. Even in the family. Now you will see that a family that God hates. Let me say, God hates isolation.
He hates it.
God likes synergy. He likes
isolation.
collaboration.
Yeah.
He likes partnership.
Yeah.
He likes a group of people coming together to achieve a particular powerful goal. That's the reason why when he sensed that those people that consider in their hearts to build the Tower of Babel, when he considered the power in unison, but because of their intent that was evil, else God wouldn't have destroyed those people. He wouldn't have changed their language. Because he knew that this thing these people have collectively, unanimously agreed to do, they will nothing will. It is even written in the Bible. Nothing can by any means stop them, except there is disunity among them. Now, selfishness, some people feel it is only about them. And it shouldn't be about them. Even Nigeria today is suffering because people feel it is only about them, their family, their relations, their community. Sometimes they're not even thinking about communities, just their family and their relations. And there are some bad people that even their family are not even talking about, just themselves and their side chicks. Some people that are a bit good, they think about themselves and the family. But they don't consider the other family that is out there. Now, selfishness has eaten deep into our fabric and is causing a whole lot. Now, if I consider that myself, I want to contest for election, and the reason why I'm going there is for me to make impact, so I will not be selfish. If truly I have the love of God. Now, this selfishness has taken away empathy. Now, I know me, I can take 3 square meals in a day. But because I feel I am the only person in this locality that has money and I want people to always come to me and bow to me, I will not be empathetic enough to look at the other family who cannot even afford a square meal in a day. Now, the place of empathy has been, how should I even put it? It has been taken away.
Complete. There is no empathy. No.
And replaced by selfishness. So, one of the major reasons why systems, individuals, structures, and organizations, even governments, they fail is not because even churches is because of selfishness, lack of empathy. Love is no longer amongst us. If I love you, sir, I will love everything about you and I will want you to succeed. And if you are in a particular situation of pain, it will pain me. That is where empathy comes in. So, okay, like recently, yesterday, going back, coming to work, there's a woman that I saw laid on the ground with a small baby. As I passed along the time, I passed and I look at this woman. Just a few steps, I shook my head in pain. Now, I was still discussing this same thing with somebody today, our supervisor. Now, he said certain things. He also saw this woman yesterday. Not in the morning, but in the evening while he was closing. Do you know that as I was closing from work with my brother here, we still saw that woman. That is from morning till that woman was lying on the ground. This is not an open place. This is like a roadside that even motor can, cause a failure or break and then hit that one. Do you know? The supervisor said that he was moved. The small change that he has that did not even complete his transportation back home, he was moved. He took it and went to this woman. Now he was telling me this thing not because he wanted to brag himself that he can contribute, but he was speaking from a place of empathy. He felt the condition of that woman. And while going home with this my brother here, we talked about this woman because we felt pain. But I'm sure because of the experience in Nigeria and experience in humanity, not everybody would have thought the same way we were thinking about this woman. Because in Nigeria today, in the world today, a lot of bad things have been normalized. You see somebody begging on the street, see somebody without food, but then they say, I'm sure there are people in the world who are not eating. Yeah. So selfishness is so deep enough and it's causing a lot of wahala.
You just said something very striking, and I want Mr. V to throw light on that.
Yeah.
You were saying, I like what you said because you said you saw the woman and the supervisor also spoke about that, all of you felt empathy.
Yes.
But you people had empathy, but you were not empowered to help. What do you think is the reason why many people that have this empathy are not empowered? And people that don't have the empathy are empowered, and they are the ones in power? Can you throw a light on what do you think? What do you think is the root cause? Is it that those people that have empathy, they like to stay in the shadow? Are they afraid of succeeding? Are they afraid of taking responsibility? What is the cause?
Sir, I can definitely say that it is what is called consideration of external factors. Yeah, that's something. Yes. When there's some certain things that, just like my brother has made mention, he has mentioned, I was about to even speak on a topic concerning love. You know what we do call, before I go back, there's what we call love. The love that we human beings will describe is far different from the factual love of what God has meant it to be. And love is so deep that, you know, if there's the accurate love in human nature, there's something that you can even go beyond to sacrifice. Because love will definitely cause that. It is not you working it, that love will cause it to work out. For instance, when he was mentioning the case of Jesus Christ, for him to come down and save humanity, do something in the life, there was something that love triggered it. So love is so powerful. I cannot go more because I was talking about what I consider that as
people that
consideration
are not empowered.
Yes,
external factors.
Consideration of external factors. Now, there are some certain things that when those people in power, you know, before they even come to power, they have already assumed something that if I should come in power, I will do this and that.
Yeah.
They have bring main factors, but on getting there, they realize something. They consider some certain things. It could be that someone has pushed them there.
Okay, wait. Sorry to cut you. You are saying that these people had empathy from the beginning.
Empathy from the beginning.
So you are also saying people that have empathy are the ones that are empowered, but they were changed in power.
So are you pretty sure all of them have empathy from the beginning?
Not all.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay.
Not all.
Okay.
Very well. And even they that have this empathy, to a point something has turned that love and passion and what was
into corruption.
What was pushing them there has now turned everything down. Because it could be that what you were calling love for the people, when you now enter there, you now it wasn't even money.
My brother, you were not only. You said you had love for the people, but when you went there, you discovered it was hunger. Hey, so it means that when a man is hungry, we think his love, his passion.
So this thing now,
how is my God? The time is a lot. What is the time? Do we have time? Do we have time for the show?
let me just say this morning.
What's the time, sir?
7 minutes.
Yeah. My God.
But there's something very striking I want to say. Do you know that most times ladies say they love this guy, a man say I love
They are
this
just
lady,
hungry.
and after a while they are just hungry. Sort of turning hunger that they want to satisfy. It's like they want to use your body to satisfy their powerful hunger, or because they have seen you that at least you have some, some stew, some change in your pocket so they can chop from you.
Selfish.
But by the time
God.
that person no longer display that disposition that you have towards such a person has been changed, or if the person changes character or her character small, that love will no longer be there.
People are making this topic so short. Sorry. You know that's why we get into conversation and sometimes we are carried away.
Yeah.
We do not forget that you guys are listening. So please drop in your inquiries. You know, we just ask the question. Why is it that people that have passion, you that want to change, you know that if they see my brother, come closer. You know that if you are the president of this country, Nigeria will be a better place.
Yeah.
We know, we believe it. But how far you get money to buy election ticket? I mean, election is coming. How much is presidential ticket? It's like the last year was like 100 million, right? I stand to be corrected.
The house of
I
think it's 10 million they're using. So
okay, so presidential ticket was 100 million. Am I correct? Okay, if I'm not correct, correct me in the comment section. But like, after you get 100 million when you want to contest, just to buy a ticket, my brother. Never run campaign. So people that have empathy, sometimes they And we know that you can rule this country, but you get the money. I don't know why it's like that. That people that have the heart. This sister they talk about, I believe if you had the money to have rented a hotel for her, you would have helped her, right?
Not just a woman, a mother.
Oh my God, with her baby on the street. And just right here in Maitama, the heart of Abuja, one of the hearts of Abuja. You can see what we're talking about. So, this conversation, we have to end this episode and continue next. I believe you're having a good time in the conversation, and whatever thing you want to, questions you want to ask, issues in your heart, contributions you want to make them on the comment section. And God bless you. God bless you. Do well to like and share this content.
Thank you so much.
And in fact, we have to do a part 2 and I think a part 3 and a part 4.